All right, and we're back, everyone. That was a really, really exciting match. Congrats again to David on winning that tile for the red team. And now we have another match between red team and purple team. This is Tflame, the team captain, versus OpiWrites. Tflame was just casting with us, but he has to go play the match now. So we're going to have Paratroopa joining us for this match.
Hey, everybody. That last match was really exciting, and I think that this match is going to be a barn burner as well.
Yeah, I think so too. OpiWrites definitely is always going to be the favorite in almost any set he plays, but Tflame has had a lot of competitive wins over the past few months, and he's definitely someone who's punched above his level. Over in the PAX Invitational last fall, Tflame got wins against Yeesh and Urand, who are two players who are considered to be about on the same level as Opie.
That's right. Tflame has shown definitely that he can play with the elites in this game, so I really don't think that Opie is all that strong a favorite.
Yeah, and so this is K2. If we take a
We are
look
on
over
Ballroom.
at the grid, K2 is another pretty important tile. That's not necessarily the reason Opie is on it. Opie is on this tile because Opie loves Ballroom, but it's a pretty important tile for both teams, I would say. Purple team already has two adjacent tiles. It's the higher, it's the one that's flashing, but it's the one on top. So Team Purple, for which is what Opie is playing for, already has two adjacent tiles there, but red has a pretty big chunk of tiles in the general vicinity. So it's a relatively important tile for either team.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be very, very tightly contested.
Yeah, OpiWrites is an expert at Ballroom, and Ballroom is what we are starting with. And Tflame, who definitely does not random his spy selection, is starting off the first game with Smallman.
That's a statement. We could pull out a book here, but we had to finish that drink, so I really don't think it's going to be quick enough to pull a fast one on Opie. So I don't know if we can do a whole lot with this.
I mean, look
The
at the cover. We can
the
barely be
cover,
seen at the shelf.
Opie's taking a good angle on this, though. It would have been seen. I think Tflame was right not to take it.
I think if he took the microfilm at the start of the book reading animation,
Yeah,
he might
if
have
it
gotten
was,
away with it.
yeah, if it was right away, it might have worked. Little
And
bit
then
of
look
a
at that.
hmm.
T-Flame was sort of chasing after the ambassador, but when the ambassador landed at the bookshelf, T-Flame just changed his mind, landed on this painting pad, and is very excited to be getting a first flirt. 51% with the ST coming to you.
Doing some victory shakes there for that green flirt with the ST coming right to us at the window, or painting.
I mean, look, it's always nice when the ST comes to you, but you're a minute into this game and all you have is one flirt. So, like, it's exciting, but, like, it's just a flirt. Everyone gets flirts pretty easily. What are you going to do next, T-Flame?
I mean, you can run out of time on flirts in Ballroom really quickly, so I think that really helped us catch up to our pacing here. We're going to be able to get this flirt done a lot easier now. Probably step in for a contact here. This is shaping up pretty well. The DA is in here with like 6 different people, 5 people.
Banana bread.
Yeah, and look at the angle that Opie has during this contact. He doesn't have the wide angle, he has the long angle, so it's kind of hard to see who is or wasn't in conversation. And as a result, looks like Opie only gets two lowlights from that banana bread.
Yeah, we did a little bit of split out of that conversation, but I don't think that if Opie saw Smallman walking away, he either knew or he just didn't see him walk away at all. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think we're staying pretty under the radar so far. I don't think there's any reason for us to be a suspect, but now there's only 90 seconds left and we haven't got any more flirt progress. So being at only 51% isn't great.
I was a little bit surprised that we didn't step in with our seduction target right after that contact to try to finish that off. It might have been a little bit aggressive to do that after the contact, but I think that we really don't have time because now the ST has got a briefcase and who knows where he's going to go next.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's going to be a lot of opportunities to flirt. The ST is on the move across the venue again. Oh, bookcase, but there's a lot of space between Sari and the ST. So being 3 at bookcase is all right here. We do get a little bit too close to the twin. Hopefully Opie doesn't think it's a huge problem.
He won't. What he might think is a problem is the fact that we've been to blue bookcase before, and I suspect that Opie may have thought, and there's the highlight. Opie might suspect, maybe not a microfilm, I'm not sure.
There was that time where Smallman was not visible at blue, so it's possible that Opie knows that Smallman could have done the microfilm. Being at
Yes.
green, taking out the book here, it looks like Opie's going to be keeping an eye on us for the rest of this game, which is going to make getting away with a bug very hard here, even though we are next to the ambassador.
We're going to need to do a time ad here. We don't have a choice. The ST just went to statues, and we don't have a way to get 3 missions done right now with this book in hand.
No, it's either going to be a
There's really
timeout
nothing
or
to
a
do.
time ad. Oh, we do
Well, we
take
got the
the
bug.
bug while Opie is looking at Orange Sari over at statues. If we actually dump this book and got a flirt, we could finish. But no, there's 6 seconds left. We're still
No,
not going to
and
be able to. We have to do a time ad over here at the window and then immediately duck into the bookcase and hope that it isn't
Yeah.
seen, but it is.
I think we need to do that flirt after the contact, and that might have given us a little bit more time to find a way to get 2 missions done. Or at the very least, we needed to put that book back and not take it out. I don't think that there was a lot of value in taking that book out. We'd spent too much time idling up to that point anyway, so any further lack of suspicion that we might have got was kind of diminished by the fact that we were at blue books anyway. So
I do think getting that bug was quite impressive. I don't know
that
if
was a good
Tflameee did
bug.
this on purpose. Maybe he did, but sorry, being at statues there at like 20 seconds left, that's something that Opie is going to be looking at, maybe checking for swaps from her. So it's a good time to go for a bug. And if we just had, maybe another 10, 15 seconds, we could have found a way to turn it into a win. But Opie is a very dominant sniper, so you generally don't expect to win your spy games against him. So
No, I think that game was winnable. But I think Tflameee just did one too many kind of idly actions on Ballroom, and those can really catch up to you on the time. You don't have a lot of time to do stuff.
yeah, so Opie going to be spying now, playing as Pearls. Entering here next to Kane, the circles on the floor are not touching, so we're not at that close of a distance, but we hit exactly 49% on the flirt, which means that with another green flirt at a slightly closer distance, we could finish it off.
Yeah, we could get a green flirt here, but we're going to have to either leave conversation or twitch a little bit closer to Kane, which you could do right now because Tflameee is zooming in on Sari super hard. Probably possibly guarding bug there. Thought General might have done a bug. We might have to watch General in the future.
Well, it's a good thing we didn't wait for that timer flirt because Kane leaves the conversation immediately afterwards, and Opie is just doing a green time ad here at the front window.
Yeah, there really wasn't anyone else at windows, so if Tflameee is... Tflameee had a lot to think about, though, so I'm not sure if time ad was on his mind at the moment.
No, and I think the best time to get away with a time ad is just kind of randomly in the middle of the game. The sniper's not always going to be watching for it. They have other things on their mind. And with another green flirt, there we go. It's done in just 2 flirts, and we have 2 minutes and 50 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, we've got a lot of time to do missions now, and I don't know if Tflameee... I haven't really seen a reaction from him on this time ad, so either he caught it too late to do anything about it, or he just hasn't noticed at all.
No, and it looks like the ambassador's just constantly been putting himself in dangerous positions. So Tflameee is just zoomed in on that at the moment. The party has been pretty active. I think it should be somewhat easy, or at least easier than normal, for Opie to get away with things here.
Yeah, we could possibly take this green book out, and I don't know if Tflameee would have the capacity to remember it. The party has slowed down a little bit, though, so I'm not sure about that anymore. Got some frustrated shakes from Tflameee here.
Possibly, we're walking by the ambassador, and we're going to do the wrong arm bug. Tflameee did not have the angle for it, but he can certainly notice that Pearls was taking that bug path. It's just going to be a question of, does he credit Pearls with the bug or not?
Pearls was not highlit after that, so I suspect that Opie may have gotten away with that clean. I don't know how much Tflameee suspects. He was looking at the Amba, but he may have not thought that Pearls could have done a bug there. I'm not sure.
Yeah, this is one of the advantages of playing as Pearl. She has a very low walking speed, so she's behind the ambassador for the whole time that she's bugging. There's less of an opportunity to see her arm coming out. Now, if you want to guard against that, you have to rotate your laser over to a different angle. Red test Purloin coming off from Opie, though.
Oh, there we go.
You threw it away. You had that after the bug. But a red Purloin, that's going to get you shot.
I think that Tflameee may have had at least a little bit of suspicion on Purlos there. We were zoomed in pretty hard on that Purloin. Even though after the bug, there was no highlight, we were watching Pearls' path there, so I suspect that Pearls was a threat in Tflamee's mind. I was on Sniper View, and the bug was completely invisible, but you just have to credit that path anyway. So really nice job on Tflameee there to catch up, even with that red Purloin, which is unfortunate. Tflame was able to catch up to not for certain seeing that bug and having some other bug possibilities. Ambo is really hard to guard in that.
Yeah, so the score is 1-1. They've both won their sniper games. Both spies seemingly struggling to find a path to 4 missions against snipers this strong. Tflame is going to be playing Smallman again. You know, I think he played Smallman twice in a row in his set versus Scout, was it? On Tayan as well. He seems to really be leaning into the Smallman these days.
What do you think the odds that he's just going to play Smallman every game? Do you think he'd do it? He'd do it?
I think
I
he
think he
would do it.
might
I
do
don't think
it.
there's any reason he wouldn't. If he feels that it could strategically work, yeah, he would go for it.
Yeah. Once again, we got the Amba in a very dangerous position right now, so Opie really has to guard this conversation here. But everyone's kind of leaving now, so it's a little bit easier now.
Yeah, if a few more people enter that conversation, there would be a lot of cover to get away with a bug. We're on the move, but we don't go close enough to the ambassador, so so Opie shouldn't have any suspicion of Smallman for bug here.
No, I don't think so. We could get our flirt done here. If we get a green, we do not. We hit a white, go up to 85%. But we still have decent pacing here with the partial inspects and flirt mostly done with almost a little bit more than 2 minutes left.
Yeah, I'm kind of waiting to see where we go with this because it's kind of similar to the last game
And
where
in
we
the
got a
red.
bunch of soft tell progress. Ooh,
That's
the contact.
unfortunate. The SDA left as that white BB was coming off, so that's going to be a little bit better for Opie. Although Opie could suspect the other conversation for having that SDA in it, but there are only like 3 reels, 3 or 4.
Yeah, and I wonder, as Smallman, one of your potential avenues to victory, if the conversation in back fills up, it's completely empty right now, but if it fills up, you can go into the back statues without being seen. But Tflame just going to be going for the fingerprint here. It's a long journey to return to the ambassador. We're covered for a lot of it, but it's definitely noticed now that we have this briefcase. So we have a lot of soft tell progress. 90 seconds left. It's doable, but are we going to deviate from the soft tells at some point?
Yeah, I don't know. Aside from this green book that Ampa's about to put away, I don't know if there are any other fingerprints on the venue right now. The Ampa really hasn't been touching stuff. So that's going to be hard to finish fingerprints.
Whoa, are we going for this briefcase again? And Taft, the double agent, beats us to it, so we cancel away.
But Opie hates Salmon right now. Salmon is getting that print, and we got safety off on Salmon.
Oh, that's really good. We get a highlight on Tflame now as we're doing the inspects. The print at green is completely smudged, but the ambassador is leaving another one over there on the statues. So the question is going to be less, are we a suspect? It's going to be more, is Salmon enough of a suspect that Opie is going to hold on anyone else waiting to see what Salmon does next?
I can't remember if Salmon has real BB, but I know that Salmon has center statues, and I don't remember if he has fingerprint done, but he's going back to this green bookcase, which is not suspicious. I think that Salmon's no longer a credible threat in
I
Opie's
agree.
mind.
And does Tflame want to finish with fingerprints? We're going for a swap instead. We're swapping with Taft blocking it for us. Irish moves over to block it as well, but I think Opie can get a good view on it, but it doesn't.
It's green.
Oh, it's a green swap.
Yeah, it's green, so it doesn't matter. We could go to this left statue on the other side and get a fingerprint there. But
were we even on that pad with pearls? I don't think we were.
Salmon's gonna swap it though. I don't know. No, Opie thinks that it's Tflame. Yeah.
No, it wasn't enough. That's really sad though. If Salmon hadn't done that green bookcase and lowered his suspicion level.
Yeah, if Salmon had gone for that, then it might have worked. It was a little bit too late though, too. I don't even know if Salmon got that off like before 000 hit.
No, I mean, well, he must have gotten it before. Actually, no, I don't know. There were some overtime beeps, but
well, yeah, because the swap came off. But,
right, yeah.
I can't remember what the timer was at when Salmon got there. So
no, there was definitely a mission win pending for a few seconds, so that means that Opie would have known that Salmon could not be doing a white swap there. Maybe if it happened earlier, it would have gone differently, but it feels at that point that the balance of suspicion had changed and that Smallman was kind of the top suspect.
I agree with that. Yeah, that seemed more like Salmon or Smallman doing a green swap there than it seemed like Salmon doing something.
All right, well, that's 3 sniper wins in a row. The spies have all been trying things, and
Yeah.
they've played games that, under some slightly different circumstances could have resulted in wins, but no spy has gotten away with it just yet. Opie playing his ponytail now. We're going to enter and get that first flirt for 22%. We're nowhere near Kane in this combo.
Yeah, I mean, it's still partial progress. Oh, we're going to take a green purloin here, though, right at the start.
Okay, well, now you're just testing your sniper. If Tflame was watching Toby, the
Ooh,
reject should be pretty noticeable. Another reject, though, from
Kane
Kane, our
rejects and
ST.
leaves.
And now an SDA is going to be the one taking. No, the SDA rejects as well.
Opie's
I think
happy.
Tflame is onto this. Tflame is keeping Toby's tray on screen completely.
Yeah, now we're going to see the reaction here. The fade is visible. I think Twin gets highlight, though, so we're not sure. But
Yes,
yes,
Tflame highlights the entire chain. He was onto it.
well done. That was a really tricky purloin, and I think that Opie was pretty happy about it. We saw some nods, but I think that Tflame has a pretty good chance to win this game now.
Yeah, I think so as well. The fact that Tflame was able to very efficiently take those 3 highlights tells me that he was completely onto it. The best possibility for Opie now is if Kane goes off to center statues or something like that. But if not, it's going to be hard for Opie to finish.
Yeah, I do think that there is a possibility that Kane is slightly more suspicious. He did leave very quickly after that green purloin would have happened, but there is a possibility that we're not as suspicious as Kane is. I don't know for sure.
Yeah, and I definitely don't think that Tflame thinks the twin did it. The fade
No.
certainly looked a little bit ambiguous, but Tflame
Yes.
knows there was a chain going, and also
Mhm.
Ponytail and Kane are now back together in conversation. So you've got to suspect that that's a flirt pair. You just don't know initiated it.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I'm not worried about the fact that Tflame didn't take lowlights here either. I'm pretty sure that Tflame is gonna have Ponytail and Kane as his 2 top suspects right now, and
Ooh,
we're
and
going
now
to
we're
the
the one going to center
statues.
statues. To
Mhm.
me, that indicates that Opie thinks he's less of a suspect than he is. Because if you know you're a suspect, you wait as long as possible for Kane to do things
Oh
before
yeah,
you
yeah.
go do things. But yeah, Opie thought he got away with it. T-Flame was on top of the whole chain and takes a pretty confident shot.
You know, that might be why Tflame didn't go and lowlight the whole party, because Opie may have thought that the sniper didn't react to the purloin, and it was a pretty good green purloin too. So there's a reason to think that you might have gotten away with it, considering the timing and the chain. But
Mhm.
T-Flame was all over it, and going to center statues, that's no bueno.
Yeah. I mean, SpyParty is a hard game, and there's a lot going on at the start of any given
Mhm.
game. It's not uncommon for snipers to just forget about Toby for a few seconds at the start, and then the list is gone, and they have no idea who did it. So it's good time of chaos discipline from T Flame to be on top of that.
Very. So we've seen some really, I think, some pretty tricky shots from the sniper up to this point. Like the spies have given, have, you know, forced the sniper to actually play well so far, is what I'll say.
Yeah, especially when you consider that Opie was nearly wanting to shoot a civilian in
Mhm.
Salmon in that other game, and he managed to hold. T Flame gonna be spying here now as Ponytail. We're just staying AI controlled
AI
this
control?
time. Also worth noting,
Okay.
we are not Smallman.
We take off AI control to do a talk, which is interesting. Yeah, we're not Smallman. Smallman is at the party though, and he's not an STA.
Well, this conversation is looking really good. It's got a
Mm.
seduction target and a double agent. And if you look at
Ah,
the other convo with the SDA, it's got a few people as well. Makes this a pretty
Banana
good time to
bread.
fire off a banana bread. But no, the double agent leaves during the
that's
white
brutal.
animation.
That's awful. And unfortunately, Smallman wasn't in that conversation either, so he doesn't have real. That's too bad. But
Yeah, it
the
looks
fact that
like
we didn't
Opie
get this
only took 2
contact,
lowlights. So it's not the
yeah,
worst scenario, but it's pretty bad.
it's not great on Ballroom to lose 2 low lights early when you still have to do another contact.
No,
And it,
but I'm looking at all of these highlights though. That could be good for T Flame. It looks like highlights were taken for, is that for real BB?
I'm not sure.
It is. It is.
I
Right
think it
after the
is.
banana bread came
Yeah.
off, Twin and Sorry were the ones with the suspected double agent, and they got a highlight for it.
Yeah, so that could possibly pay off. Got 2 minutes left, though. We have very little progress. We may need to do another contact, which may lose heat for some of those people.
Yeah, if you did the contact right now, you would be losing Teal,
And the end of
Kane,
red.
Salmon, Smallman, and Tflamee's going for it, and all of those people are going to be lost. The party is very, very narrowed down now, unfortunately.
Yeah, we still got Pearls in there who was in with Real again, possibly. But yeah, now there aren't a lot of suspects of this party anymore. And we
Yeah,
don't
and the
have a
people
lot
who
of
picked up the
progress.
highlights earlier, it was Sari and one of the twins. Sari's back down to a neutral now because the second BB wouldn't really make sense for her in that scenario.
No.
Tflame going to be going in to get a fingerprintable book here over at green, and that's kind of the first major mission progress we've had in quite a while.
Yeah, we don't read this. That was a hard tell in that read, but we had to get rid of that book soon because we don't have a lot of time to waste. So we just have to hope that Opie didn't see our cycles there. We're gonna try
Yeah,
to
that
finish this
print
flirt. We need a
though,
green.
that print was not fresh. It was left there over a minute ago. But oh boy, just entering conversation and talking gets us the highlight.
Yeah, Opie may be onto this print after all anyway. And that enter conversation, talk quickly, we didn't even get the flirt done. I think that T-Flame's really in trouble here. We're definitely the top suspect right now.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a way to finish either way. We're going in, we're getting one inspect over here at this statue. If we want to finish, we're going to need another inspect and another print. The ambassador was leaving some
There's a fingerprint
statues here.
No.
Opie's on top of it.
Yeah, I don't know if we were shocked for inspects or fingerprint or a combination of both, but that was just too much. With nobody else at the party was really doing anything at that time, so there wasn't really a lot of opportunities for T-Flame there.
Yeah, that's an issue when you narrow down the party that much by letting off so many lowlights for BB. It just makes it that much easier for the sniper to track everything you're doing. That print was on green for quite a while, so if OP was on top of it, it's still a good catch. But going statue to statue and getting a print on the second one, it just screams that you're the spy. Now,
Right.
OP going to be playing as Red Dress here. OP is known for doing some rush games on Ballroom, and we haven't seen one from him yet. I wonder if he's going to pull it out here.
No, and I'd like to see it because I'd like to see a change of pace here in Ballroom with the sniper party going on.
Yeah, I mean, OP tried to change a pace last time with the Purloin. Here it is, green microfilm animation. T-Flame looks like he's zooming in on it, but he's not. He's actually zooming in on Orange Sari to check what she's blinking over at the statues.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think that microfilm was clean, and I think that was a good time to do it. The cover kind of evaporated just after we did it, but we had a lot of cover for it, so it didn't look like it was visible in sniper view.
Yeah, I think this is a good start for OP, and what he's been doing in the other games hasn't been working, so trying for some animation microfilms, there's really no reason not to give it a go. Well, first flirt, 34%. The conversations are sort of spread out, but I think going over and joining the double agent here could set us up for a contact. I don't know if we're going to want to do it right away because it would definitely narrow it down to only a few people with real. You would like it if your conversation got one or two more, but you also can't risk waiting around too long.
Well, Sari's in conversation now, so I think we could do it now. Sari has center statues, so we definitely want to leave her in.
Yeah, there's a lot of people milling about. It would give off a good number of lowlights, but you'd have two good conversations with real. OP decides to go for it. Yeah, we have two people. Oh, Pearls is leaving during it as well, so there's not that many people with real anymore.
It's not too bad because fortunately the SDA is in the other conversation. There's a few people in that one, so not too bad. That could have been a lot worse.
It could have been, but look how many lowlights there are. This party is so narrowed down. It's going to be really hard to get away with a second microfilm animation here.
Yeah, right now there's absolutely no cover on that side of the venue. There's just no way to get a microfilm done over there right now.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Even if you do a microfilm, you need another mission. And what is it going to be? Is it going to be inspects? Because if so, you need to do the microfilm first. You don't want to do a microfilm when you're a highlight for center statues. We're heading over now. We're going to take out the book. If more cover doesn't show up, we're going to have to walk away with it.
Yeah, the only possible thing here is that T-Flame does have to watch the Amber right now, but he's taking an angle that we could do the microfilm now. The pillar is kind of blocking us. I don't know if Opie is confident in that, though. The laser's moving around now.
In a tough spot. You have to be watching for a bug from Kane there, and Opie takes that moment to go for the microfilm. Doesn't look like T-Flame saw it. Very well timed.
Perfect timing. It was really not that visible on sniper view. T-Flame had to move the laser around to guard the Amba there. Opie picked a perfect time to do that microfilm. I think that was clean.
All right, now
Tflame,
all we need is
yeah,
one more flirt, and then we need to go do the center inspect. We hit the
yep.
flirt. We just needed
Or we could do a
18%, and
bug.
luckily we got it.
This bug is being watched. I don't think we can do this. I think we have to do center inspects instead.
Yeah, but there's not much time left. We're
Or a
requesting a
purloin.
drink. We might be going for a purloin instead.
This is risky. I think that Tflame is watching this. There isn't a lot else to watch now. Ampa's not in a dangerous position any longer. We are going to do white purloin here. I think Tflame is going to see this.
Tflame is looking at it. The list disappears, and he just takes the shot.
Yep.
Oh,
nice
that
shot.
was a very good spy
That's
game from
tragic.
Opie, but
Yeah.
finishing is just hard.
Yeah, that was a great microfilm, but we just didn't have a fourth mission there. I don't know. I don't know if Tflame would have shot us if we went to center inspects. Center inspects with less than 30 seconds is really suspicious. I think that Tflame still might have shot that, but I don't know. It might have worked. I think that would have been a better option than Purloin, personally.
Yeah, there wasn't even a chain. Queen had just taken before us. So even if Tflame wasn't certain about the fade, there was only one person to shoot for that purloin. Now, he was looking at it very closely. We don't know if that's because Hare was a suspect or just because it's the end of the game and you have to watch every list take.
I don't know. Tflame wasn't guarding us super hard at the green bookcase, but it's possible that he could have credited Red Dress for being at 2 bookcases anyway, and so assigned her some threat for that. I don't know. I'm not in Tflame's head.
Yeah, but I think it was still a very well played spy game from Opie overall.
agree.
If that ending just went a bit differently, I mean, I really think he could have won from center statues. I think Tflame might have shot anyway just for going to center statues late, but it wouldn't have been a certain shot by any means.
That would have been a very difficult shot for Tflame. I think he might have taken it anyway, but it would have been a tough shot. And you want to make snipers take tough shots.
Well, we're tied 3-3 going into the
SpyParty.
second venue. Welcome to High Rise. This is High Rise 3 of 5, so it's a very different dynamic. Tflame has chosen to have Purloin and Bug on as the 2 hardtails here.
Yeah, getting some real classic SpyParty here with Ballroom and High Rise. I like to see it. These are 2 of my favorite venues.
Yeah, that's true. These are 2 venues that, you know, used to be the beginner venues that everyone started with when they started playing the game. Tflame and Opie are players from the newer generation, though, but Opie was a prodigy right from the start and just immediately shot up the ranks, whereas Tflame was sort of a casual player and underestimated for a while, but then he just took off massively in the past year with all of those competitive wins.
That's right. Now, that was an interesting fake contact. We had the SDA in our conversation. We might have been taking a chance that there wasn't the SDA in this conversation and just giving Sari like a suspicious real contact on the other side. But ultimately, everyone in this conversation has real now, but we don't actually have real.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I mean, Opie is not necessarily known for shooting civilians, but on High Rise, if someone who is a suspect and someone who you've credited with a real banana bread goes to center statues, it's always possible.
Yeah, we're just going and idling with this book a little bit. I don't mind this. It doesn't look very spy-like to take a green book out at 2 minutes left. It does hinder our options, though. We can no longer purloin or inspect with this book, and bug is going to be a lot harder to do. So we can do it while we're finishing our flirt here, which we're going to get done, and then we could do a contact, but we're going to have to put this green book back, and that's not going to leave us with a lot of time afterwards.
No, but with 90 seconds left, you can give yourself a pretty good opportunity to bug. I like what Tflame is doing here, just walking right up next to the ambassador, but with a book in his hand, as if to sort of taunt the sniper or say, would I really do that? Would the spy really just put themselves in the forefront of your mind by standing next to the ambassador like that?
Would the spy really be holding 2 useless objects in their hands right now?
Exactly. Fingerprints are off.
Yeah, so we don't need this briefcase. We are going to go put this book back instead of getting the contact. I don't know how I feel about this. I might have liked to step in and get the real contact here, because now the DA is gone.
Yeah, it could make us look AI-like, but you need that double agent to re-enter conversation at some point in the next 50 seconds if you want a mission complete. Now, maybe you don't. Maybe you think you gave BB to a lot of people. You just want to wait and hope for a Civ shot. With Bug and Purloin on, you do have opportunities if a Civ shot doesn't come. The double agent does re-enter so many people in conversation, and we might be lining up for a banana bread into a Bug here, but it's a white test. I think the ambassador is going to get pushed out before we can go for the Bug. That's exactly what happens.
I almost wonder if Opie could have credited us for entering.
A white Purloin
we're going to do a white
coming
Purloin
up
here, but
there.
Opie is watching this. He'll highlight us, and we're going to get shot.
Oh, we tried to duck. We tried to pick up the briefcase to avoid the bullet.
Oh boy, that was close. I wonder if it would have worked to take a bug as we enter that conversation. We entered right next to the Amba, and Opie didn't have a great angle on it. Uh, I suspect that he may have been considering crediting it anyway. I'm not sure, but it might have worked. I don't know.
Well, it's another sniper win. We may have changed venues and gone to a completely different style of game, but we're still seeing the same amount of sniper wins so
Not a
far.
different style of outcome. Quick
Ooh,
contact
Opie.
here.
Yeah, that was a green contact as well while he was already in the middle of his flirt. And Opie thinks that he's going to be able to get away with the soft tell game now. Opie is going to go in for the center inspects, and he's banking on the fact that Tflameee doesn't think he's suspicious, right? Because he only spoke once in that conversation. If you think that he was talking for the banana bread, then it means he wasn't talking for flirt. So if Opie can go in and just hit another green flirt here, he could be done. And Opie
Yeah.
is challenging Tflameee to shoot him in that case.
Yeah, I think this might very well. Whoa, no. Whoa, Tflameee hates it.
Tflameee was all on top of it and was able to
What a
shoot for
shot!
2 flirts.
What a shot! That was so confident. He was so confident that Opie had finished missions there. That's wild. Because I was going to note that Tflameee was really watching Opie's blinks on those statues, and Opie did do the correct blink. So Tflameee was satisfied with that at the moment, but when he left conversation, went back to that flirt there. Wow, that was an almost perfect spy game from Opie to get 3 missions done that quickly in high rise. I don't think most snipers would have shot that. That was a masterwork shot by Tflameee.
Yeah, it's very hard to shoot for that. The whole benefit of playing that game is that you're challenging the sniper to shoot when they want to wait as long as possible to get more information. So good on Tflameee for being able to take it. Clearly, he was on top of that first talking conversation, and the fact that the talk was, a BB and a flirt at the same time wasn't enough for him to hold the shot.
I wonder what would have happened if Opie had held on to that flirt for much, much longer. We had the time if we wanted to just idle and not talk for a long time. The problem is, though, that you don't know that you're going to hit that green flirt. So you want to get it done as soon as possible so you know that if you need to hit another flirt, you have enough time to do it. But I wonder what would have happened.
Yeah, but the longer you wait to flirt, the more time the other guests have to be AI-like, which might mean that when you do take the talk, the sniper thinks, yeah, no one else is suspicious. I guess it's them after all. Anyway, Tflameee spying now as Twim. We started off with some inspects
Deja
over there
vu.
on the side. We made sure to walk very far away from the ambassador as we passed by him so that we wouldn't be credited with bug. And now we've got our first flirt.
It's funny that we're playing Twin again, and we stepped into the same conversation spot and same spot in conversation that Opie just got shot. So that's kind of funny.
Oh, did Tflameee just, I think Tflameee just sort of broke animation there while taking the drink. I think it's an attempt to look AI like because there's no reason that the spy would ever do that. It could also look like maybe you were red flirted in the middle of the take or something like that. I don't know. Tflamee's trying to look AI like, that's all I know.
I've seen AIs do that from time to time, but I tend to kind of ignore it because it could be the spy trying to leave conversation after they take the drink, but just timing it like a half second too early.
Yeah,
So I
the
don't know
other
if
option is
that's what people did, or
maybe if you got interrupted by someone, then you would stop your talk and then you would take a drink. And if you've been interrupted in the last like 5 seconds, you can walk away at any point. Oh, we try to get a flirt at paintings, but she leaves. Come back.
Interesting to know that Tflameee left that statue really quickly, like hard tell quickly, to get to the flirt target at the painting. I don't know if Opie saw it or not. It was pretty visible to me, but just may not have been paying attention to that. We really wanted to get that flirt paintings before she left, but fortunately, it paid off.
Banana bread.
Well, fake contact coming off here. It's going to be Ponytail, Kane, and Pearls who are the ones with real. Maybe what Ponytail did, flirting with us at the painting, looked weird, but not enough to provoke a shot or anything just yet. We take another path by the ambassador, but again, not close enough to bug, and hopefully Opie knows it.
Yeah, if we take a real contact here, I don't think it's going to work. Opie definitely knows that we did 2 inspects, or did 2 statue visits. The second BB would look really bad for Twin. I think this will get a shot if we take it.
Yeah, but I do think the fake was a good a good idea there,
It
because
was, yeah.
generally if the spy has the inspects done, they're not just going to go into a conversation and risk a fake banana bread. But you
Mhm.
clearly have to take risks if you want to win a spy game against OP. So
We
I
have
see
so
why he
many
did it.
people out. This contact is awful if we take it. There's so many people out. I
We're
think
the
we
only
need
person who would, yeah, we cannot take this contact. It has to be,
we have to try for a purloin here.
or it could be a
Banana
bug.
bread.
No, not with the ambassador at window. Oh, we take the
No,
banana bread, and
it's
yeah,
banana.
OP just lines up the shot.
There was an opportunity there. I think in about 20 seconds, there were a lot of people on the move, and I think if we had left and tried to bug the Amba, I think it might have worked. Possibly. It was a chance at least. But that contact, I don't think that was going to work.
All right. Well,
Ugh.
Sniper Party is holding. That's OP at 5 points now. So I don't know if either player is going to reach 7 points and win the set outright.
I don't
So
know.
for OP, if he gets one more point here, he will guarantee the tie. Oh, this ambassador is so tempting over here, but of
Oh.
course that means Tflame is watching it. You cannot get away with a bug, and Opie has been credited with a bug that he did not take. Tflame wasn't certain if Rocker bugged or not.
That's bad news for Opie here. Tflame has been guarding the Amba like a hawk there, but there was a split-second opportunity, I think, where Rocker could have done that bug and Tflame would have known, and I think he's nervous about that.
Yeah, and the fact that she doesn't even have the bug, oh, now she's entering
we're talking.
conversation right next to someone and she's talking right away, it just looks like flirting, because it is.
And unfortunately, Opie might not think that he's suspicious for bug there. He might think that Tflame guarded it well enough, and that's just really unfortunate because we wouldn't look that bad if we weren't suspected for bug. But
yeah, and even if you're not credited, with the bug, it still means that Tflame is going to be watching you really closely from now on because you're a highlight. So getting away with other missions is going to be really hard. He's going to notice if you have real BB or not. I don't really see it through here for OP.
The way that Tflame is really sticking to watching the Amba here, I feel like the better way to go would be to try to get some other kind of mission done while Tflame has to watch the Amba. Like if we could get a side inspect over at the far window, like while Amba's standing right here, for instance, it might work. But it's a little bit too late for that now that we're credited with bug. We might just have to try to get a bug anyway now. Like if we left conversation here and did it, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, the good news is the ST came to us and he's not very close, but we still got a good flirt. So we're at 75%. I mean, we can do a standing bug at any time, right? But I don't think Tflame's ever going to take his eyes off it.
I guess we are close enough to do it. We are in a position here. The circles are overlapping, but the Amba's not getting pushed out. So that's a good possibility for us if we do. We are going to take the...
We take it. Tflame saw it. I think he saw it. It looked like he was about to line up that shot.
I don't know. We took it while we had a little bit of cover here, and Alice's ponytail was taking a drink. I don't know if Tflame saw it or not.
He might not have. I thought I saw a slight laser movement getting ready to line up a shot, but then there was no banana bread. Now there is one. Yes, I think that's it. Tflame was lining up the shot there. It was a very slight laser movement, but I think he was getting ready to line up a shot, and then he thought, you know what? There hasn't been a contact. I don't need to shoot. Just hold for now.
And the problem is that even if Tflame did see that bug, Tflame already kind of suspects Rocker bugged, possibly. So I think that contact was just definitely going to get a shot. I don't know. I don't know if there was a lot of ways that we could have finished that, because Inspects Perlin probably would have got a shot too.
Yeah, good discipline from Tflame though.
Yep.
And really good job holding down that bug. Opie thought, I'm going to go for it. He's already been watching it for like over a minute. Surely he'll have a momentary lapse of watching this at some point, but Tflame never did. He held on. Score is now 5-5. There are only 2 games left in this set, and Tflame brought down to a low light, brought back up to a neutral. I think that might have been a misclick because we're between 2 double agents.
That's exactly what I think happened.
Well, with how this has been going, it's going to be really hard for either player to win both games here. A tie seems like the most likely result. And this is high rise. Like, depending on what the party gives you, you might not have a great opportunity for a spy win. So we'll see what Tflame is able to do with it.
Yeah, we're getting off to a slow start here, but that's okay. You do have a little bit of time to idle on high rise. We are going to want to take this flirt pretty soon, though, I think, and we are going to do it right now.
Yeah, and look at this. Tflame is really trying to get a distance that doesn't look too close to the seduction target, but is still close enough for a 50%. And we do hit the green, so we do get it, but the circles are
Very,
not
very
touching.
nice. And ponytail leaves. That's very, very nice for us.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. If we waited around for a timer flirt, it might be kind of noticeable. It'll be noticeable if we join
Possibly.
her as well. It's just a question of if Opie is on top of these flirt pairings or not.
Hmm. I really like this innocent talk. We're not next to anyone that we were next to previously, so it really doesn't look like we're flirting right now. I don't know if Opie tracks that kind of thing, but it's something that I look for on High Rise because there isn't a whole lot else to watch. So I just really like that little innocent talk there.
Yeah, and the fact that we're just waiting around in this conversation, it doesn't look like we're chasing a flirt with anyone. Ponytail's going to go over to Windows. Chasing her here would be too obvious, I think. But Tflame's
I don't
going to
know if we're gonna
go
make it in
for
time.
it. And we do hit another green.
She checks
We
her
hit it
watch.
before she leaves.
Perfect.
So the flirt is done now.
It
Okay,
was
that's pretty good.
That is pretty good. It was possible that she would have left if she didn't check her watch there, but we got a little bit lucky there. We could go for a really nice contact here. If there's a position in that convo, we don't go for it though. We step in the other conversation, which is the SDA.
Yeah, I think we could have fit in there between Smallman and Salmon. Are we going to go for it now? Yes, slightly weird non-direct path. I'm sure it was fine though. I'm sure it was fine. If we go for a contact now, there's a decent number of people.
And the end of
in.
red.
Right. Oh, it's red. Red contact. Opie sees it.
Darn.
That's tragic. I think that game was winnable. So
I think so too.
Like, not a sure thing, but it was within reason. If we go to inspects or try a bug there, then it might work.
Yeah, it was good flirt progress. I thought that going to Windows would be kind of an obvious flirt, but it doesn't look like we were being paid too much attention to afterwards.
It's hard to say.
Yeah, and if we had just done the contact, gone to center statues, I don't know. I still think we might have been shot. Opie is a really good sniper and has really good intuition on this venue. But that's Opie at 6 points now, which means if Opie gets one more, if he can pull off the spy win, he will just narrowly win this set. Or Tflame can just hold the sniper game as he has been doing, and it'll just end in a tie.
Yeah, it's been 11 sniper wins so far, so Opie's going to need to get the first spy win of this set if he wants to win this Hex outright.
Well, there's a really good bug opportunity here. You start a bug, it becomes your right arm, and then you walk over to the bookcase.
That's exactly what he does. Oh, you called it.
I know Opie. I know my OpiWrites. Tflame was definitely watching for it. It's just a question of how much of that arm was visible.
Slightly visible on sniper view, but I don't know if Tflame saw it or not. It was a pretty good bug.
You can see the arm starting to come out, but if you suspect the bug, this is about when you would shoot. Yeah, highlight on just Kane. It's not highlights for real for the entire conversation. It's just Kane. He's talking again. Do you want to shoot him? Considering it, but no.
I think the Tflame probably knows that Kane is not done with flirt yet. I think that the next talk could be very dangerous for Opie. I'm not sure that Tflame will shoot, but it's going to be tough to finish flirt here, I think.
I think so too, but there's 2 minutes for it. There's 2 minutes for it. Who are we next to? We're next to Sorry. We're next to Wheels. If we talk next to them again, Tflame could think that's a flirt finish. Opie has to basically just not talk in this conversation if he doesn't want to die.
Yeah, we were also next to General, who is the SDA. Red Dress is going to come back to this conversation where the next talk, there it is.
Tflame was ready for it. Tflame definitely suspected the bug heavily. Not enough to take an instant shot on Banana Bread, but enough to shoot for one more talk. Very good discipline. Again, good call that Kane wasn't done flirting. And just fantastic sniper play from both of these players.
Incredible sniper play on High Rise, especially. Those last 2 shots that Tflame took especially were really good.
Yeah, and just he caught those bugs. He just caught them, and they were not the easiest to guard. Like I said, this bug that Opie just did is one of the stronger bugs that you can do on High Rise, and there was only a little bit of the arm visible right at the start there, but he got it. He got the bug in conversation. He kept his eyes on that ambassador for so long.
Yeah, I really think that maybe Tflame would have been easier to beat if you go do something while the Amba is in danger. But I think that bug that Opie took would have worked against a lot of players. So I understand taking that bug. You called it right as it happened, and it wasn't easy to see. So that was a really nice catch by Tflame.
Yeah. The spy games from these players. Now, I do want to note something in case there's anyone watching who isn't as familiar with Spy Party. In a lot of these spy games, it sort of looked like the spies were doing nothing for a long time, especially with how long they spent flirting or doing inspects. Or sometimes they just seemed incredibly tentative and didn't take opportunities when they were available. But these are both really strong sniper players. And when you know that you're playing against a strong sniper, you really know what is or isn't going to work. These spy games were not necessarily the most conventional. And I think if these players were playing against someone with a slightly lower level of game experience, we might have seen bolder spy plays and we might have seen a higher variance of strategies. But they knew that they wouldn't be able to get away with a lot of straightforward plays. And that's why we saw some interesting decisions. And they didn't pan out a lot of the time, ever. But that's how you have to play spy against snipers at this level. You know?
Yeah, and I think that most of the spy games on high res were pretty good. Like I said, you want to force the sniper to take tough shots, and I think that most of those shots were pretty tough. I think that Opie could have easily won that spy game where he did the inspects and the two flirt really quick, and T
Yeah.
Flame just had to take a really really quality shot to win that game. So Opie could have easily won that set if T Flame wasn't didn't have an A+ game there.
Yeah, and again, Opie, I think maybe could have won the game on Ballroom where he got away with the two microfilm animations,
Mhm.
but he ended with a purloin. He ended with a purloin instead of inspects. But that's what I'm talking about. It's easy for us to judge it, but I think Opie felt that if he went into inspects, he would die, and so he would
Mhm.
rather go with something unconventional that, if it doesn't work, maybe just looks a bit embarrassing. But all you need in a set like this is one spy win that works. So trying unconventional stuff like that is usually a good idea. T-Flame did it as well, right? On High Rise, he played that one game where he tried to act super AI like
Mhm.
by doing the leave in the middle of a drink take and then sipping twice in a row at windows. Things like that. The players were definitely trying a lot of cool things on Spy, but the snipers held it down. Very well done.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think that most players would not have sniper partied that set, and that was like really really high quality sniper play from both players.
Yeah. And so let's go back and take a look at the tile map there. We got a tie on this. It's not what either team wanted, but I think the stakes were kind of similar for both teams here. Yeah, there's two purple spots next to this. They're not going to be able to get the adjacency bonus there anymore. Meanwhile, red has one next to this, but there's going to be three more tiles next to this next week. So this whole segment of the map is now quite quite split. It's not going to be the number one destination for either team. That whole spot to the left there, to the left of this tile is
Mhm.
full of red. That's going to
Oh
be
yeah,
a big area for the red team. Whereas for
for
the
sure.
purple team, they might be able to get a little bit more around here. They'll get some to the south for sure. That's going to be their focus. But sort of the area to the upper right of this tile, um, it's not flashing anymore, but it's the one over there on the left side with the tie. So the area to the upper right of it is going to be okay for purple, but might not be their highest priority.
Yeah, I think that this tie hurts purple a little bit more than it hurts red. So I think that red team got a little bit more value out of this tie, just a little bit.
Yeah, I think so as well. If you look at the little tile just to the right of it, it's flashing now. That's still going to be a pretty good spot for purple. It would have
Mhm.
been better if they got the win here, but I don't know. I don't know if red is going to really want to invest on taking that single isolated tile to the right of this.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably not.
It
The real
depends. I
winner.
mean, the strategy is really interesting going into next week, right? Because the teams are going to have to decide, do we want to assign strong players to somewhere where we can get a huge amount of adjacency bonus, or do we want to stop the other team from getting it? Like,
Mhm.
stopping purple from getting that tile could still be strong, but is it
Yeah,
stronger than getting something in the middle of your big red landmass?
right. Especially with purple, I believe being the third place team right now. I believe that red has a narrow advantage over green, and purple's a little bit behind, if I'm recalling correctly.
Yeah, that's
So
about where the scores are at.
so you may not we may want to consider giving up that tile. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I'm speaking as a caster right now. I'm
So
on
am
the
I.
red team, and I'm sure there will be
My
strategy
actual strategy
discussion. But
thoughts, I'll save that for the private chats. But
I think I'm saying some pretty basic stuff. I'm not giving anything away. I'm like, yeah,
yeah,
tile in the middle
absolutely.
of lots of red is good for red.
Hmm.
So, yeah. All
Yep.
right. Think that's it. Thank you for casting with me.
Yes, thank you for having me on.
And thanks to Lino for creating all of these assets and for hosting. Thank you to Tflameee and Opie. That was a really well played set. Sniper Party sets, if you look at the score line, it's just like, oh, the sniper won every time. That doesn't seem interesting. But when you actually see it happen and you see the
Hmm.
snipers consistently playing so well, I think it's always a delight to see.
I agree. I think that was a really exciting set. A sniper party can be boring if the spies just aren't playing very well and the snipers are just having the wins handed to them, but that wasn't the case at all. There's a lot of tense shots in that set.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you're interested, this is Spy Party. You can check it out at spyparty.com or on Steam Early Access. You can join the Discord at discord.gg/spyparty if you want to interact with the community and just learn about more streams happening in the future. And with that, we will say good night.
See you, everyone.